I'm Dan Galusha and welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. Hey, today I'm going to be talking to you about gun safety along with the first time that you're going to clean the gun. And this is prior to when you're going to shoot it, that's right, and it goes hand in hand, and this same sort of cleaning carries on over. And we're going to use right here the one that I just received, which is the Sky. It's a CPX-1RD, and what that is the red dot. Otherwise it's just a CPX-1, and there's also a 2. The 2 does not have the manual safety. This has an ambidextrous manual safety. And if you've seen the first video, you'll notice that this right here was a little harder to do. Now I can do it a lot easier. That's because I did the first round of maintenance, and I'll show you what I did here, and we're going to go through it all again. It's already been done to this gun, but still I'm going to show you, and I've even loaded it. Why? No, we're not going to shoot it. I'm going to show you part of the safety measure. Now, first off, the kits. I'm going to lay this down here, right here, and I have got a cleaning mat down here. I've got a regular gun cleaning kit, which is just like this. It has all of the items in it, the rods, the different brushes, the swabs, the whole works. And that's used too. And I'll lay that right over here. And then I have my Plano kit, as they call it. It's full of all sorts of stuff. One thing, I got a little top compartment right here, you can see it. And that has got the bore snake that I use the most. And that's the 22. But we're not doing 22 this time because it's 9mm. I got some brushes. I use old toothbrushes. Those work good for different things. A few other Allen wrenches, but the one thing that I always keep in here is this little Coast flashlight. Look at that little thing. It's perfect for what? For looking down the bore. You can put this right up inside the chamber and look right up the bore. After you've unloaded it, got it nice and safe. And this is rechargeable. You don't have to worry about batteries in this little thing. There's a gadget that goes right over the top and recharges it. I've got a couple of those, but those work fantastic for this sort of a thing when you're cleaning a gun. Then inside this kit, I've got more. In fact, there's an old Ward's cleaner that my dad had, and I've got all sorts of bore snakes in here, as you can see. Different shotgun gauges, calibers, the whole works. And I've even got some glow-on paint if I want to use that. And the fiber optic cloth that I use to polish my Henrys, the Golden Boy and the Silvers. And then this is a Gun Protect pre-treated cloth. And I use that to wipe my Gun Protect on. I've got Gun Protect in there, Hoppy's oil, Hoppy's powder solvent, the whole works. Anyway, that's all in here. Most of you who've got a gun kit already know that anyway. And that's not really what we're here to talk about, although I did want to bring that up. And we're going to be getting rid of this right now, because what we're going to talk about is taking this apart and what you should do. So I'm going to get you down here, and then I'm going to show you all of this. Now here's our Sky CPX, and you'll notice the red dot is on it. Now the first time that I'm going to clean this, and maybe even later as well, I got some Allen wrenches here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to remove that sight, but I'm also going to show you how to replace the battery, because naturally it's a red dot, you may want to replace the battery. So what we got to do is find the right wrench. Hopefully I got it. And right up here, you notice that there are 2 screws. So you loosen those, take them off. And this will take a little bit. They loosen right up, as you can see. No problem there. I'll make sure you can see that. That's one of them. And we'll take the other one. And we'll get that red dot off of here. There's loose. Okay, I want to put my fingers here because I don't want to lose those screws. And you'll notice that right here you have got the battery. Now that battery just pops out. You make sure that the plus sign is facing towards you. And then that goes right there where you see me remove it. Okay, that's how you replace the battery on this red dot. And this red dot activates as you move the gun. In fact, it's, you know, it's ready to go now. Now, what else are you going to do with this? Well, the first thing, in fact, should have done that before I even took that sight off of there. Remove the magazine. I told you it was loaded. It is. What else do you do? You always make sure that it is unloaded. And there's the other round. You never, I don't care if you think the thing's unloaded or not, there's always a possibility there's one in that chamber. So you always want to check it, and as you can see, it is empty. Now, what do you do to get this one apart? And I'll show you what you do after we get it apart. Well, first off, you slide this back right here. In fact, I'm going to zoom you out just a little bit more so that I'm not constantly covering you. Well, maybe I'll just move it to there. That's good. In fact, what we're going to do, hang on here. I'm going to bring that up right there. There we go. Now you can see it better. Okay. Now, you take this and you pull it back. Here's your lock back right here. And you lock it just like that. Here's this little pin right here. Now, most people would think that they're going to go under it. It's not going to work that way. You got to go over the top of it, and I'll show you right here. Hopefully, it's kind of hard to do up here. You can see that pin. That pin has to come out, and there's a slot right up next to the slide itself, and we're going to put a screwdriver in there and pop it out. I'll show you that. Let me get my handy dandy Leatherman tool out. Get the right one that might work. This one should. You don't want to damage your gun, of course. And you stick that in here, just like that, and there it is. It pops out. Real easy. That's all you do. Now I lay that aside. Take it apart. How do you do that? Just like that. You just unlocked it with this and then slid it forward. Now here you are. You have your, and you can tell it has been well lubricated, and that's what you want to do because this comes without. Now why would you want to clean the bore of this since it's never been fired? Well, you'll notice that in your manuals, most companies, especially Browning, stresses that you clean them before you ever fire them due to the fact that they put a rust protective inside that bore. Now the whole thing really needs cleaned up good, but especially that. And I will use my one kit, and then I'll use the bore snake like I showed you, and I'll run that down there. But on this, and this spring's a little different, so we're going to go through that with this Sky. You push it forward just like that, and you'll notice it's not in two pieces like a lot of them. It's one piece. Your barrel comes right out. No problem. There it is. And you probably can't see down it. Yeah, I guess you can some if you do. It's clean, I'll tell you. It's nice and shiny if you can see that. And I'll take that light and I'll shine it right down in there without even taking it apart. Then I lubricate all this up. I also lubricate up the hammer area where you're going to be firing it. This is all lubricated, as you can see. And I lubricated this. Another thing I lubricated while we're at it is the magazine. You can tell that magazine's got all sorts of stuff. The reason being it was really, really stiff. Then I took my mag lula, the up lula. A lot of you probably know what that is. That's to load that. Well, without putting the ammo in there, I worked it up and down several times to try to loosen it up. Now it loads a little bit easier without the help of that, but I still use that. So you get all of this lubricated, even this, so that everything works good. Then you put it back together. You just do the opposite of what you already did. And you always want to remember, which way does this go? Right? Yeah. Put it in like that. This solid black area on this gun goes to the back. And with the others, that the spring isn't all incorporated together, it's pretty easy to see which one goes where. But again, you have to get that in there just right, just like that. And then we'll slide it back on. And you have to have it in the right position to get it back on, because if you don't, it will not slide on. I guarantee you that. There. Slides right back on. Now, how do you get that back in there? Because you're not going to stick that in here. Well, you're going to do just the same thing you did before. You push it back all the way. And again, this is really stiff. And if you can't get it locked in, there, that's where you want to have it, right there. I think you can see that hole. Okay, I'm going to try to push that back, and I've got it really lubricated. There, you got to lock it into place, just like that again. Take this pin, remember which way you had it before, got it around this way, stick it in there like that. You push it in for it snaps. You probably heard it snap. Okay, that should be ready to go. It is not really holding it. You can see that. In fact, what we have to do, I did it wrong. Why did I do it wrong? For one thing, on purpose, to show you what happens. You're saying you got it right. Well, with this, there is a hole that's in this right down here. And you want to have it just like that. Now, take this, put it in there, and this is where I said that it makes it a little bit more difficult. There. Now, see how that barrel is? Okay, if I had done it the other way, it would not have worked right. Now, push it in and snap. That's what I wanted to show you. It will snap in place whether you have it in there right or not. So that snap don't always mean anything. The real thing that means it is if you can take it like that and work it back and forth, then she's ready to go. Now, it's ready. So, but you haven't put the red dot back on, right? No problem with that. And again, why did I remove this? Well, one thing right now was to show you the battery and how to do that. The other reason is, if I had left that on there, and I would have done all that gun protect stuff, sprayed that, and all that sort of stuff, the viewing screen on this would have been an absolute mess. And I have done that before, and it's a real pain to get it clean. I'll use a regular optic cleaner for that, and then use a fiber optic cloth like they use at the eye doctor's office. But we'll put that back on, and it just fits up just like that, just like you'd seen me take it off. Get the wrench. It's pretty easy to fit up because there's no other way. There's just that space for it to be. And I kind of alternate to make sure that I'm getting that tightened just about right. And I'll show you here a little bit better. I'm trying to see it from what you're seeing, but seeing it from what I'm seeing. Now you see, I got it down to about there. Well, then what I like to do is take it, turn the wrench around the other way, so I got the long bar part, get it fit in there, and give it just an extra tightening, just a little bit. Like I said, it's kind of hard for me to see what I'm doing and let you see too, but give it just a little extra tightening, just like that. Now, that gun's ready to go, other than loading it back up and having it ready that way. And I'll do that later. Okay, that pretty much shows you everything I was talking about. I wanted to show you how you do the maintenance as far as the SCCY here, the CPX-1, and but I also wanted to show you that this can be carried over to any gun. You know, naturally the others aren't going to come apart the same, so I was kind of doing both things here for you. And why would you want to clean that before you ever shoot it? For one thing is, the accuracy is going to be better because it's got all that junk inside of it. It's that way with pretty much every new gun. So you want to clean it before you actually fire it. Do I do that all the time? No. In fact, I proved that real easily when we had that first video, part 1 of this SCCY. Because I got the gun about 30 minutes before we did it, And I fired the first 20 rounds in it. Yes, I should have cleaned it first, but I didn't. I put the battery into the red dot, and away we went. Anyway, that's what you do. And like I said, everything, the safety part of it is definitely always take that magazine out, always check here, make sure that there's nothing loaded in there. Always treat the gun as if it were loaded. And that goes to any gun, whether it's an air gun or a regular firearm. Makes no difference. Safety first, without a doubt. Always safety first. And again, what you want to do is give these a good cleaning all the time like that, so that it maintains them properly, which again is another safety factor. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.